because it's the mind that needs to first of all be rebranded.
Literally said is going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigeria content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations should start looking at getting their staff involved in this market or buying to keep it for their staff?
Within this side, let's also learn citizen diplomacy. See something. This is Souk business landscape.
Good morning and welcome to your show. Welcome to that time of the day when we talk. We don't just talk, we discuss, and we also want to just hear from you. It's not every time you get to sit on that side and enjoy the show. Be part of it. My name is Chooks, John Rogers Chooks, and this is SBL, Souk Business Landscape. You're catching us live from Souk News, somewhere in Lagos, beautiful part of the world, and we welcome you. Today we will talk about Interpol, cybercrime, the African prince. That is not African, to be precise. We also get to tell you what's happening in agriculture. I'm trying to shut my eye to just tell myself, hey, don't worry. Keep the shyness away. It's not too palatable, but we will still talk about it. There are things that are trending, making the news, but it's not just about the news. It's about your economy, mine. How can we get better? What is Africa looking and not seeing that the West is doing? We'll get to talk about them. It's Souk Business Landscape, and I'm not alone on this table. It's a beautiful Tuesday, and I'm blessed to have the fair one and the beautiful one. So, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, join me as I welcome this fine, beautiful Tuesday. Priye. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Chooks, John Rogers Chooks. It's glad to see you again. Good morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria. Priye Kurumale is my name. You called me Priye. That's the short form anyways. Good morning to you, Swift.
Good morning, Priye. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good morning, Chooks. I like the tie. Priye, I also like your tie. You boys are looking so handsome. You even look marriageable. I think I can make some money marrying
We're
you.
already married.
Well, we can marry you again and again. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, world. Get ready for us to discuss business and be blown away.
You're welcome. By the way, I'm available.
You see what we are saying?
We'll go on a very short break, and when we return, the first story will hit you. Don't go anywhere.
Take Nigeria because it's the mind that needs to first of all be rebranded.
Literally said is going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigeria content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations should start looking at getting their staff involved in this market or buying to keep it for their staff?
Within this side, let's also learn citizen diplomacy. See something. This is Souk business landscape.
Welcome back. It's Souk Business Landscape, and straight to our first story. Interpol. Now, Interpol working with law enforcement across 18 African countries and agencies, and the UK has arrested 8,209 suspected cyber criminals and dismantled 11,432 malicious online infrastructure under Operation Serengeti 2.0, conducted between June and August 2025. The crackdown recorded $97.4 million linked to online scams that targeted nearly 88,000 victims. That amount was recovered, tackling high-impact crimes like ransomware, business email compromise, and fraud. Intelligence ahead of the raids included suspicious IPs and domains with support from private sector partners offering expertise in crypto crime tracing and digital forensics. Key arrest and seizure highlights the scale of operations in Angola. 25 illegal crypto mining centers run by 60 Chinese nationals were shut down, with 37 million worth of IT equipment and 44 illicit power stations confiscated. In Zambia, 15 suspects tied to a $300 million online investment fraud were arrested, alongside the seizure of domains, bank accounts, and 372 forged passports. Links to human trafficking. While in Côte d'Ivoire, police dismantled an inheritance scam. You heard me right? Costing $1.6 million in losses. Interpol chief Valdesi hailed the operation as proof of growing cross-border cooperation backed by funding from the UK and support from tech firms like Fortinet, Kaspersky, and Trend Micro. Okay. Let's say thank you very much to everyone that was part of this particular sting operation. 2 good months and we'll see good results. Now let's ask ourselves, how come the handsome African prince is not really African after all? Why is Africa the ground for foreigners defrauding the world and labeling it an African issue? Let's start from there.
Okay, so first of all, if you read, they told you that they had to bring in IT companies like Fortinet. We know Fortinet is one of the biggest IT providers for banking sectors because Fortinet gives solutions for banking sectors and a couple of others. Now, there's a reason why they had to bring in Fortinet because these boys are hacking banking systems. And how they are doing it is becoming scary. So there was a friend that worked in a particular bank. They said at a stage they had to start screening IT students. That people who come from universities, so they were taking private university students because they realized that some of the fraud were coming from maybe federal or tertiary, other tertiary institutions. So they were taking private. And there was a time that they employed like 6 students in the bank who were doing very well. You know, they were up and about. And suddenly, they did a background check, like they sent to the school that, oh, your students, and the school said, we didn't send you anybody. These people are not members of this particular private university. And immediately they had to call in, you know, the Nigerian police who came and arrested them. They were fraud syndicates. That's in Nigeria here. So,
and they got into the system.
They came as IT. They came from that particular private, very prestigious private university in Nigeria. They came with the book logs. They came with everything. In fact, the dean, their dean had called 1 or 2 people in the bank. And these children were supposed to work for 6 months or 3 months. So you can imagine what they are doing but their job is to get data within the bank.
And send to the syndicate.
No matter where you keep them, they will always have a way of coming to you. Oh, sir, do you
So which means the bank didn't even do their own due diligence before bringing them in?
Look, to some extent they did. They too, they covered up themselves. But the bank had noticed that, you know, maybe after a month they lapse a little. Then you now communicate. So they too have a way of blocking. They will send false emails with the school identity. They do a lot of things. And when you now realize, did you see how much they said the Chinese firm invested in one of the places that was cracked down in equipment? $37 million.
In
so
equipment.
that means that the banks, some banks, some I will not say big banks, some community banks don't even have that much in equipment. So what are they investing for? They have also hired some of the best hands. Recently, Nigerian government, they did a cyber crackdown where they had to repatriate, I think, about 50-something Chinese people, Lebanese. Another friend that told me a story of when he went to work as an architect. So he went to work in a particular house, and there was a Lebanese guy there somewhere on the island. And the guy was just giving him cash bundles. You know when you want to work for somebody's just giving you 100, babe, take, go and do this. And his other friend said, these people are fraudsters. That there's no businessman that works like this. And he was like, wow. So why is Africa the hub, like you asked? It's safer. For now, anything that happens, you blame it on Nigeria. Nigerian boys, Nigerian youths, they are lazy. They've just realized that they can hide under that cover of Nigerian youths are the one doing these things. Are some Nigerians involved? Yes. But most of the big brains behind this are foreigners.
Okay. Now hold on to this this African prince that we are trying to unmask. Now let's look at this narrative. We see a lot of very young, vibrant Nigerians who are gifted. Young boys, some in school, some not in school. How can we turn this negative energy into positive?
Can you pay them?
Me as a one person.
Okay.
Or the government.
Can you pay them? They go into this act. Imagine, even you need to be trained to be a Nigerian police officer, not just a Nigerian police officer, but a special unit under the Nigerian police force for you to go as an undercover for an operation.
Yes.
What kind of training did they give those boys that they have the guts to go as undercover into a bank, not with a gun, but just armed here?
That's the word.
Just give me your system and a computer. Just let me get into your organization, give me a computer, and I will hold you hostage without bars of iron. These guys are gifted. Can you pay them? How much is the equipment we talked about? $37 million? Okay, how much are they being paid? You can be sure they will make more than $37 million if they had gotten into the system, or probably they have already done that. Recently, Nigeria repatriated one very huge, notorious Chinese criminal named Dai Qisheng. Recently, they repatriated him from Nigeria back to China. And it's a collaborative effort between Interpol and the Nigerian police officers that they caught him. And how did he get into this country? You want to travel out of Nigeria to Canada, to the UK, to United States, you'll be told to get a police report.
Yes.
That exonerates you, that you're not a criminal, that you have not got into the hands of the law, and all of that. So it gives you a clean sheet. And even that clean sheet is for a year. If your application to these embassies and it's not forthcoming and it has lapsed more than a year, you need to go back and renew it, because it's assumed that within a year that we gave this clean slate to you, you must have delved into other suspicious acts. Do they do that? Do we request for something? How did he get into the country?
Yes.
Because he's a notorious criminal. Interpol had to come searching for him. He must have been a very notorious criminal. And we repatriated him. So if you talk about these boys, I've seen a clip where police officers caught some of these boys, Nigerians, and they were quizzing him. They were just talking to him, saying, how did you do this thing? And the guy started explaining to him what he could do, not with an Android phone, with a button phone.
My God.
He didn't go to the old button. Yes. He didn't go to a university, Chooks, to study software engineering or computer science. Who trained them? Of course, we knew that there are illegal areas where some of these boys who carry out this criminal acts, they've gotten somewhat big in this illicit crime. So they set up their areas and they call it "Come Learn Forex," and "Come Learn other what's it called now? Tech and all of that." By the time they come in, they also look at the characters that are coming in. In fact, they are bringing it into the system to come and learn. They look at the characters that I hope when I make suggestions of criminal acts to this XYZ students that are coming into this academy, they will accept. So this boy was explaining to police officers what is a clip, how they can use that button phone, get the phone, get your number, transfer money from your account, all the security systems that the banks have put in place, enter your PIN code here, what they would do, the kind of codes they would dial that is not available to just anybody, to get those secret information. And the police officer was amazed. He's a police officer. He's been taught how to fight crime, but it's good that's gone.
So the bigger crime.
Yeah, and in this boy who doesn't have a gun, just with a button phone, not internet. There's no internet on the phone.
Let me
answer your question.
Yes.
Okay. He carries out one illicit act and he clears somebody's money, about 2 million naira, from their bank account. That's just in a day. And he continues doing that, and he's getting money, 500,000. Even the person does not have money, the person have like 350,000 or 500,000 in the account. He clears that, and that's within 2 hours, within 3 hours. Your phone gets missing, and before you know it. So if they're able to do that, and the lure and the love of money has, baptized them into that system whereby they cannot be satisfied, where they need to work a week or two before they get paid. it will be hard because you will need to do a reorientation, a rehabilitation, or whatever thing that the Nigerian army does to terrorists whenever they are caught, to rehabilitate them so as to reintegrate them back into the society. You need to carry out the same act for them, and it's a psychological thing. It goes beyond the physical. So that's why I ask, can you pay them? How do you then demystify the mind and convince him that, look, you need to provide value for you to get paid for your job? And he's telling you, when I can run around with my phone and make 3 times what you can pay me in a month, I can make that in a week. So it's a big problem.
Okay. You're saying it's a big problem. Okay, now, for those that are watching us, here in Nigeria, there is this, in quotes, acronym, Yahoo Boys, cybercrime, the person involved, and those that practice it, because it's almost like there are people practicing it right now. Now, let's come to you, beautiful one.
Yes.
We are in an age where people just look and throw that word around. Oh, no, mind them, they are Yahoo Boys. And it's becoming kind of normal. How can we as a society start replaying that tape and deleting it from our psyche that it is not normal?
Okay. So first of all, I'll tell you that I think we also need to, at this point, because we are trying to do world global standards, and these boys are doing world global standards. There's something he was saying, he was talking about the 100, when I want to say something. Right now, we are learning that people are being taught this. I know of 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds from back in the day in Edo State. Their mothers will take them to this training classes. It's their mothers. They will go to prayer houses. There was a certain particular pastor somewhere who was recruiting, who was saying God had empowered him to bless young people. So bring your children to me. And you see children of 12, 13, 14, within a year, 2 years, they are giving their mothers some kind of turnover. You are going too far, that's 500,000. If imagine you defraud.
You're talking about a fraudster, not a pastor.
Yes, we are talking of whatever he was. So some religious houses are doing that.
Fraudster.
In quotes, some people are training. Some people will say do internship. Some people you just sit online job here, you know. And also these Interpol people said it, that people were recruited as customer service people. They ask you, do you have a phone? Do you have a laptop? By the time you realize that you are into this business, they have already sent some money into your account. They now threaten you that if you don't bring 10 people to replace you, you cannot go. So some of these people that are here, they are actually victims.
Okay.
And because of how big the syndicates are, they have people who cover up for them, people who, we're talking of some people in the police force, we're talking of people, I won't say EFCC, we're talking of people in security agencies who actually cover up for them. Because I've been in a car, we're driving, we're going somewhere, and they stopped us, and apparently one of the guys was, and I was in his car because I was driving a Benz, and he just like me, kept saying I should ensure I follow him. So my friend kept pushing that, the guy is king of money, and I was like, what is going on here? So I was at the front seat. As soon as police stopped him, he gave me his phones that I should hold on to them and say they are mine. It was a very quick movie. And as we came down, the police officer was like, are those your phones? I was like, no, they are his phones. And by the time they searched it, open password, he refused and all that. They found out, of course, he was a Yahoo boy. He settled. Now, when they were taking us to the station, 2 military men came, or 2 men in military uniforms came. And they were like, it's general's son. And then one of the police officers says, provide the general's number, provide the general. And that was how they couldn't. And the 2 military guys poofed and disappeared. And they said, you are a real big fish. And they took all of us. What saved me was I had my media ID card, because they were like, you are the girlfriend, you were holding the phones. And I was like, no, I just entered the car. The other cars disappeared. Then like 5 hours later, I was just there at the police station at Ikeja. And then the DPO came, started to talk to me. I said, I really don't know the guy. They were like, okay, obviously you don't know him. Okay, sit here. So they checked my phone. They had to go through to make sure that I'm not one of the pickers. I'm not one of their pickers. Then they said, okay, I should sit. They didn't put me behind the counter. A picker is somebody that you defraud him. You defraud him. You send to me. I pick the money, so I'm clean. Then I now find ways of sending it back to him. So they now found out I was, because they used girls. A lot of girls, ladies are speakers. I'm part of the people that talk to you on the phone. That, hey, what's up? Did you just have a bank transaction? There's a problem. Don't worry, we are here. That's one of those things. It's side by side. So that was how they were able to clear me from that case, and they got the guy. Let me tell you something. A day later, the guy was out. He was still calling my number. That, we are not done. Let's hang out. How much do I need? Let him send me 100K. I was like, God forbid. How did he get out?
Okay.
Settled. Leave that aside. Now we're talking of rehabilitation for these young boys. How can the government rehabilitate them? It's not how much they have gotten. It is where they have been influenced. It's like prostitution. You were on your own. You needed money, and your friend says, let's go. There's this party, and then they give you 100K, and the next week they give you another 200K and 500K, and by the time you know, you are now the one taking other people to the party. How do you stop them? First of all, like you said, they should have a place where we sit down and we talk to these boys. Secondly, let's use them constructively. How do we use them constructively? Trainings. Put them back into the banking system. Let them be the ones that...
Whose banking system?
Trust me.
No, sorry, I don't.
No, that's what I'm saying. Train them, reorientate them, and put them back into the system. Let them be the ones now there to catch people that are trying to do fraud. Because these people...
Now,
I'm telling you, that's what they do in more developed countries.
Hold on. Now we have... Hacking is hacking. There is ethical, there's ethical hacking. You understand? Hacking is a profession.
Yes.
It's not illegal. So now, if you say put them into places where they could hack on behalf of organizations, no problem, or where they could hack...
Where they could track people who are trying to break the security reach. Because they already understand what it is. So, for example, almost every bank...
that particular place where they're going to break, my money is not going to be...
Please wait, let me tell you. So, almost every bank, if you go online and you just complain, my money was this, you just go online normally. Before you finish dropping that complaint, 3 of those banks have replied you. Oh, good afternoon, please call this number. We are here, they start chatting with you. If you don't check to find out, it's not the bank. It's these boys that are opening accounts with the bank logos, and they start to chat you. If you make the mistake of giving them anything, we had Sean George of recent, she lost almost, I think, some millions. Why? She was chatting with a particular bank. She didn't know that was in the bank. And they said, okay, madam, just give us the slip, give us this. And she was giving them. She didn't confirm. And before she knew, boom, your account is gone. And you are now calling the bank, and the bank says, we never asked you to give delicate issues. You understand? Online. Okay, you didn't ask me to give delicate issues. This person is from your bank. This person cleared. Can you not trace the money? They'll say, come and fill a form. That form, they'll tell you it's going to take 3 weeks. I still have money, 20,000 naira pending for 3 months. Okay. Now, imagine you employ, very quickly, let me land. Imagine you employ some of these people there. Their job is just to look for who opens any account on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Once you see it, that it is this bank, it's bank red, you alert immediately. You call on those people to close that bank. That will reduce the online 419 that is going on. That's what I'm saying, employment. So you see, these people can be put back in the system for good use.
I agree they can be put back in the system for good use.
You are just afraid they should not come.
But it's the part of the system where they will be functioning that I'm really looking at. Okay, now we see cases outside this crime where some very notorious hackers are apprehended. And after a while, the state gets them and uses them for something else that is positive for the state. But most times, they always wear a bracelet.
Yes.
Yeah. They might wear that bracelet till eternity. But they get used for positive. Can we start to see where Africa can start utilizing, just like you said, how can Africa start utilizing? Because the crop of generations that are getting into this, the population is a bit high. And these boys and ladies are good at what they do. We have a whole lot of tech spaces to fill up.
Okay.
How can we channel this energy positively?
Okay, all right. First of all, I think...
Don't ask me how much I'm going to pay them.
Most times,
yes.
When we look at what these Nigerian boys who are in this illicit act, when we look at what they can do, it's nothing compared to what the foreigners are doing. You are the one that said the back end of the back end of the back end are monitored, and they are administrated over by Indians, by Chinese, by, name it, foreigners. Those guys are the real... They are the real suspects. OGs. Yes, they are. And they've caught this guy, Dai Sheng or Gisheng, recently, is just is a normal one. There are others who are in this system where you converse with people and you see, most especially Chinese people, they are into this because they tell you they are coming in as tech. And let's look at this. Most of the time, allegedly, fine, Chinese citizens, because when it happens to Nigerian citizens, they don't mean swear.
Yes, please,
they don't mean swear by saying in this country, EFCC has apprehended Chinese citizens. Security agencies have apprehended them for committing criminal acts, stealing people's money in Nigeria. They hide under the name of foreigners, and they come into the country and they steal their money. When they get caught, please open it up. Let them see. Let the Chinese government see your citizens came to our country and they are committing 419. Yes. They are Yahoo China boys and Chinese men in Nigeria. Let them see it. Let them see. Whenever it happens, let the Chinese government continue to see it. Call the Chinese consulate. Let them see it. Look at them. Okay? Look very well and keep them safely. Sometimes when criminals or Nigerians commit some of this crime outside, they put it out there, right?
Yes.
Let them put them out to let them see, so that by the time the government start taking some level of action against China or Indian citizens in this country, they know that, oh, we've seen it in the media space. So maybe they can now call their consulate or their mission office here in Nigeria and say, look, you need to have a town hall meeting and invite all the business moguls, invite the Chinese and their citizens and talk to them, because they are painting us bad. They are not only, we also know that some of these countries, their citizens are in this country carrying out illegal mining.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's focus on.
Yes, they are all criminal activities.
Yes,
I know we are focusing on cybercrime. So if we are going to use these boys, like the police officer, like I spoke to, and he was looking at that boy and was asking him, how do you do this? Oh yeah, show me. And he was showing the police officer. And the police officer was just amazed, like, you could do a thing like this. It can be used. In fact, like you said, it can be bugged and be used. I am also tempted to say, where is this young man? Yes, like, where is Hush Puppy?
Hush Puppy is in the States.
He's still cooling his heels in some
cooling.
jail cell.
You think he's
sure?
cooling? He's working. Not for himself anymore. He's working for the authorities. If he is that good to be known globally, it must be good. I'm sure he's working for them. So when we get people like this, even this Dai Sheng, how much of inquisition, how much of interrogation did not only the Interpol, the Nigerian police officers, how much of the interrogation, how much of the information did they extract from him? Okay,
why are you going at interrogation and what they extracted from him? Let's just take this like two sentences. What exactly is cybercrime costing us as Africans?
So
what are we losing?
Cybercrime has helped to cost us our integrity to a large extent, because nowadays when people see Africans, see Nigerians, for a long time, thank God this is being revealed, that the people who are teaching us, and our uncle and auntie, some people also were arrested in the UK, in the United Kingdom too, in this INTERPOL crackdown. Let's not forget, because they realized that some headquarters were there.
And they are not Nigerians.
Yes,
they are not
and they are not Nigerians, they are not Africans.
And
there's a reason why their headquarters are there, so that their server, when you send this information, when you send this money, what is blocking it and sending your monies offshore that they cannot be tracked? When it's overseas and, it's coming back to Nigeria, it's more difficult. I would say let's leave that aside. Let's come back to the Nigerian market. Let's come back to the smaller market first of how they 419 you small, then they go up to the next level. We have a lot of these people. Some of it has been greed, because you can't take away crypto. Crypto has been a major way of defrauding Nigerians. A Chinese man or a Oyibo man comes out to tell you that, look, this something Bitcoin, if you invest in this, and many of them, or a couple of them, have been frauds. By the time you invest in this particular Bitcoin, they tell you the Bitcoin prices has gone down because the original investment they put into it, they withdraw it, and so it crashes and you lose your money and they get everything. This has been a recurrent issue. So I think Nigerians too need to be very careful. They need to be very smart before you invest, because Nigerians like all this, or Africans, I think we like all this. If you give one, because of where we are coming from. Back in the day when you go and trade in the market or sell, there's a possibility of Jara. So Nigerians like Jara. Once you offer a Nigerian, if you trade 50 Naira coins, you are getting 100 Naira coins. This is part of the cyber crackdown. All these Bitcoin schools that they say, oh, they train you. Some of them realized that the customer service they were doing and the training they were doing, they were giving out valid data. Then we cannot forget about SIM cards, the crackdown on SIM cards, because a lot of people, there was a day I went to somewhere to register in the MTN office or in an office here, and this guy had come in a week to buy like 12 different SIM cards. And so when he came in, the manager just stopped him. How are you, sir? Welcome. You were here yesterday. Yeah. Before he said anything, there was a police officer waiting for him. And they escorted him. And he was like, I'm a client. He was trying to raise some noise. And the policeman was like, look, if you do anyhow, we'll do anyhow for you. And so they had to explain to us, the customers, that no, they are not here to harass customers. That the guy had come in within a week and he had bought almost 12 to 15 SIM cards. And so they have been told, mandated by the police, that once somebody comes in, Monday buy SIM card, Tuesday comes again, buy SIM card, Wednesday buy SIM card, it means that it is for something. And so they had to pick them up because they have stopped, they are trying to limit those people at the roadside that sell and give. And so they picked him and they escorted him outside. The SIM card usage, the opening of frequent account, that's why the BVN, the Nigeria, they are trying to really push that BVN thing so that they can track every account and track you to where you are coming from. Because the truth is, cyber crime is real. Thank God in Nigeria, they have not started stealing identities. In America, you can wake up. It's not that bad. You can wake up and you are no more chooks. Someone else is chooks with your credit card and all that. Thank God in Nigeria, at least you must go physically, fingerprints and all that. So we have not gotten to that level yet. But I think government really needs to do a lot. I'm happy about the international INTERPOL thing. We need to encourage it. And like he said, when foreigners commit this crime, because we already have a bad name out there that we are Yahoo people, we are cybercrime, we need to put that. These are the people teaching our children. Our children were on their own. They came and they gave them this leverage so that we don't keep spelling the name of the country. Yes.
Okay, one last word on this. We get to see a lot of this bad narrative. We still get to see a lot of African princes scattered all over the country, all over the world, and when you get to see them, they happen to be white men, Caucasians, and all that. We've seen companies that have used to do business in Nigeria specifically because of this. There are a lot of very big companies online that will not allow Nigerians register, all because of this. How can we start changing this narrative?
Okay. First of all, before we start changing the narrative, National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA, said about cybercrime has cost Nigeria about $500 million, which also include social media fraud. And that $500 million is about 250 billion naira. Before then, about last year or so, we saw how cybercrime attacked some companies in Nigeria and went away with their very important documents and details, hacked their system, and held them hostage, some of them secretly, not publicly, to pay some money to get themselves back out away from those mess. And that run into tens, hundreds of millions of naira. So if we are going to change this narrative, when foreigners come to this country and they commit criminal activities, put it out there. And if the media is not, when the media, when good things happen in our country, we say it. When bad things happen in our country, we say it. When foreigners come here to commit criminal activities and they get caught, please give it to us. Let us say it. Look, so that we can help the government push the FDI agenda. That see, when you are coming to Nigeria to invest, just know that criminal activities and fraudulent people are not peculiarly Nigerians. It's not peculiar to Nigeria. It's all over the world. So when you're coming, just know that Nigerians are not the ones perpetrating this crime. Something happened sometime, I think I was in the university then, and I felt so bad that they came to steal or to buy stolen crude in the Niger Delta. They used a ship. A Ghanaian accompanied some Russians to Nigeria to come and buy stolen crude in the IC there, in the Niger Delta. Of course, Nigerians are among them, were caught. Guess what happened when they were caught? All the people of color, whether Nigerians or Ghanaians that came along with the criminals to come and do that illicit act, they were stripped to their shorts. Guess what? All the Russians, they were on their clothes.
Diplomatic immunity.
No, please. Diplomatic immunity is for diplomats, not for thieves. A diplomat knows that, look, though I cannot be arrested in this country that I'm serving, where my mission is, I cannot be arrested. But if you commit a criminal act and you run into the diplomatic missions, yes, the country where you committed that act may not penetrate that place, but you know what? You have brought untold embarrassment to the government of your country, and you will be recalled by the administration. You will be recalled because you have put both your principal, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and your country as a whole in you've given them a bad name to the extent that investors will not want to come in.
Okay, let's
run. They don't do that. So when all those guys they left their uniform, I was angry with the Nigerian police. Why must the Nigerians move, all the black boys move their clothes, and you left these people to put on their clothes? They're all criminals. Treat them like one.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say thank you very much. Remember, it's my responsibility, it's your responsibility to keep Africa and Nigeria going. So, hey, let's do good business and let's use that positive energy and get going. If you are into Yahoo, please think twice. Let's get to our next story. The Health and Mother Earth Foundation and allied African groups have urged the Nigerian government to oppose large-scale industrial animal farming projects, warning of major health and environmental dangers. Speaking in Abuja, Executive Director Miriam Bassi said intensive livestock operations often confine animals and rely heavily on antibiotics, increasing the risks of antibiotic resistance, zoonotic diseases, food contamination, and poor nutrition. She also warned that such systems demand vast land and water resources, contributing to land grabs and threatening smallholder farmers. Now, she pointed out that the 2.6 billion MOU between Nigeria and Brazil, major meat processors, to establish 3 poultry complexes, 2 beef plants, and 1 pork facility nationwide, calling it a potential threat to local food sovereignty. Okay, this is where we are going to. So, beautiful lady and gentlemen.
To break, I mean, you want to break.
This table.
Let's start from here. 2.6 billion. Brazil happens to be one of the major world exporters of poultry products.
Yeah.
Now, they send across the globe. Recently, sometime this month, Saudi Arabia and other countries, okay, nobody bring back your poultry after the bird flu issue.
Yes.
Now we are signing an MOU with Brazil. Some NGOs are coming to say, okay, people, slow down. Slow down. Do you buy Bassi's narrative that we should slow down?
So for me, it's a 50-50 thing. As much as I would want us not to be too much in a hurry, I am very sympathetic to the local farmers, but remember that they've been given a lot of opportunities to prove themselves. And government there's from Goodluck Jonathan's time, there has been fertilizer. We saw Muhammad Buhari's tenure. He made a conscious effort to make sure that farmers didn't suffer. Tinubu administration again has started, they are pumping in money. Why are things still very expensive?
Who are they pumping in money to?
The
farmer on paper or the farmer on the ground?
To a large extent.
The farmer on paper, right?
To a large extent, the farmers on ground are getting a lot of grants. They are getting a lot of
Are they
loans.
assessing it?
To a large extent. I would not say 100%, but I know 1 or 2 people that started husbandries on my streets in Lagos, in Oshodi. And they got grants to start. Small poultry here. Yes, it's not in this Lagos.
Oshodi?
Yes. In fact, one had these goat stuff. Unfortunately, one day, some of the goats were stolen.
I have to really, for some of you that don't understand, Lagos is a city of over 18 million people, and
Yes.
Oshodi.
So by the road,
what space do you
that's what
have
I'm
for
saying.
that kind of business?
So the grants they are giving, it's like a feed your street kind of agricultural thing, or feed your community, where you can have small husbandries. They train you how to take advantage of this space. This space should be able to occupy maybe 1,000 birds. As small as the spaces are, you know, with those birds and all that, like within your area, just small things you can do. So they're just, I don't know how much.
Poultry in Oshodi.
Yes. Small ones. I don't know how much the grants were. Of course, they won't be the big ones. Just It's like they were trying to encourage, like what Miriam Abacha did, when you encourage rural, where you are giving women frying pans to fry their own gari at home and all that. You're just encouraging people to have small farms so that you can feed yourselves and feed your neighbors with eggs.
Okay. While you're feeding yourself and feeding your neighbors,
I'm not done with this.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me finish my point very quickly. Now, local farmers have been encouraged to a large extent. Each time they are being encouraged, there are allegations that sometimes they aid in the hoarding of food. They increase they increase prices of poultry products, and government is still giving what do you call that thing where you are subsidy. They're subsidizing agricultural products, subsidizing feeding and food, but we are not seeing this in pricing. We are hearing that a lot of local poultry products, they are being exported. And what we eat most of the time when it comes to chicken, turkey, is being imported, because a lot of foreign governments prefer our own poultry products because they are natural, they are not GMO foods. Now, coming down to this, what are these people saying? The same fertilizer that they are importing, that they are eating, let's give our chicken, so that if the chicken stays 6 months to get mature, within 3 months your chicken can be mature, between 2 months. That's what we are eating. So let's instead of importing, let's bring this world agricultural practices that you are importing from Brazil, how you are eating their cow that is maturing on time because of the antibiotics and all that, and you are complaining, but that's what we are eating. So for me,
hold on, we are not eating cows.
That's I am eating most of the things we are eating. Most of the chickens I'm
the
eating.
cows you are eating.
Okay, the cows I am eating.
Okay.
At least 80 to 90% of them they import. I know how many times I go to the market to get a whole live chicken and peel, and most of the time I just go to a cold store, and these things are imported.
Okay, for
and
elites
most
on
of
this
them,
side of the table,
they are
right?
injected with
okay.
The chickens are growing. So it's okay if our agricultural farms start using this process, so that we can get more and stop importing. That's my take.
That's your take.
Yes.
Beautiful. Now, Priya, let's come this way. We also have a lot of contending issues coming out from this MOU that was signed. Its implementation has not started yet, but we have seen NGOs cry out. Now, aside the health challenge, they're also looking at feed. A lot of animal feed, a lot of them are produced here, even if a lot of them are still sourced outside. And we're looking at our ability to produce more animal feed here, since we are looking at growing that particular sector. If we have to see these farms come into this nation, we are also going to see an advent of more importation of animal feed. More jobs are going to be lost. And hope you know that if this particular MOU goes the way it's planned, I don't know the nitty-gritty of it, a lot of this profit is going to be leaving Nigeria when they come.
Okay, so most likely this this MOU and this business, I'll call it $2.6 billion. Remember, the government needs money, not for him, to provide jobs and succor to the people, to make sure there is employment. Because if this JBS or this what's it called now, this Brazilian big farmer, if they come in, industrial farming business organization, when they come in, production and all that is going to take place. But let us first of all pay a little attention. When the Health of Mother Earth Foundation, which is the civil society organization that is crying out, let us not just look like somebody or one big farmer, local farmer, investor somewhere It's like, I'm going to be they will put me out of business when these people come. Let us look beyond that and look at some of the issues that he has raised. So what are these issues that he has raised? I am tempted to read out something to us, Mr. Chooks. And please, if you will allow me, I would like to do that. They are actually engaging in industrial farming.
Yes.
So what is industrial farming? They said a little bit of it in there. Industrial farming, also known as factory farming, is a system of livestock production where large numbers of animals are raised in confined indoor spaces for mass meat, mass fish, and dairy products. The system prioritizes profit by maximizing efficiency through rapid breeding and high-density housing, leading to a high volume of waste, extensive antibiotic use, and significant environmental impacts like water pollution and habitat loss. If we go this way, some of these animals that we are going to be eating, some of this meat, the pork, the cow, the chicken, some of this meat would not be completely rid of the tendency to bring some form of disease because of the extensive use of antibiotics and genetically engineered methods of hastening the production of these animals. Do not give NAFDAC extra work because NAFDAC is already overwhelmed with the work that they currently have now. Yes, we will not give them extra work. And hopefully they'll be able to look into the system and say, no, these 25 or 250,000 cartons of chicken that you have produced for Nigerians to eat, we're writing them off. We are going to burn them because we don't want you to poison our citizens. So the tendency, health, that foundation is HOMEF, Mother Health Foundation. This is one of their outcry. Health concerns. Number two, these animals will be looked at or raised in an environment that they themselves will contract diseases among themselves. Crowded area, no space. You know, when these people were asking for ranching, our brothers from the north, they said, okay, we have to buy ranching. The kind of ranching that we're looking at, they have cows spread in a certain land mass and an expanse of land where there is breeze, where there is grass, and they can stay there. But not so with pigs. With the environment, we would have to raise pigs. Not so with chicken. Not so with other animals. So we have to pay double attention. The third thing is that the protection of our local farmers. I know Madam Swift has spoken and said our government has given them X, Y, Z, but we're not seeing that reflect in the pricing and all of that. We know what the government is doing if we point our fingers to Lagos. How some of their strategic specific markets across Lagos where Lagosians can go and purchase subsidized agricultural produce. It may not be enough because of the population in Lagos, but at least the government is doing something, and the government has taken the notch further by liaising with the government of Niger State to purchase over 500,000 hectares of land?
Yes.
Okay, the farmers offtake.
Yes, offtake project. And Mr. Umar Bago has said, we are going to produce food for Lagos. And that collaboration is in the pipeline and it's working. And before this administration is done and gone, I think we'll begin to see some of the fruit of that manifest in the city of Lagos. And
so are you saying we should focus more on
we should focus because they are going to take away the jobs. This is a multinational industrial farming organization. They are coming in. They are going to say, we are going to give employment. Yes, they might. But you know what? The consequences will outweigh the benefit. I know Nigeria is a market, a serious gateway market for the dairy, the meat, and the fish products. in the continent of Africa. And if you've got Nigeria, you've almost gotten Africa. Okay. Because we're talking about 200 million people. And if they come in, what about the local producer? He's going to be put out of job, and all the incentives and all the monies that the government has said, okay, we are going to give to empower local farmers, all will go into waste. So what should the government do?
So can I jump?
Before you come in, let's look at this way. Now we are looking at a lot of increase in non-oil exports. Now we're looking at agriculture, but now let's break it down.
Yes.
A lot of the exports coming from agriculture are majorly raw materials. For those that are processing, 99% of them are major processors are not Nigerian businesses.
Wow.
The majorly those that are also exporting are not Nigerian businesses. So if we look at it critically, a lot of the monies being made in that particular sector are made by non-Nigerians. And now we are having this other MOU that is coming in. How can we start reversing this trend whereby Nigerians are really involved in this service addition?
So I wanted to talk about the fact that the local farmers, I'm sorry, most of them have refused to move to the next level. The next level is world international practices. That is the same space you are using to rear 50 cows. You can use it to rear 500 cows. First, why I'm clapping for this is the part of the insecurity.
Do we need world international practice?
Yes. Why we need world international practice is in Nigeria right now, there's a lot of insecurity because of animal husbandry. Okay. As of 2010 or 12, I was coming from Ado Ekiti to Edo State, and a cow ran into the expressway.
Is that all?
And he hit the bus.
We've seen cow run on the runway of the airport.
And I never knew that when a cow hits a bus, I just thought, oh, it would be...
No, the bus is damaged.
The bus spun around. It was God that saved all of us. The cow ran in, and before we could press the driver could, then if they were using, I think it was automatic, it would have been better. Before I could march to march on the express. And they were like, that's what happened last week. In fact, the particular cow's head was stuck on that particular driver's chest, and that one died. And there were so many gory stories. When you are looking at this, if we can have such people come into Nigeria and actually establish animal husbandry, especially for cattle, it will reduce the roaming around. It will reduce.
How will it? Because that's a
no. Because for example, in Ekiti State, there was a law passed that if your cow is caught on the road, if you're on the express, because of all these accidents, minus issues, because when this happens, village community will fight, the other community. If your cow is caught on the road, so by the time this is coming up, you will see that Nigerian farmers. One thing I know about Nigerians is it's like cybercrime. Once we see you are doing it, the next person is picking up. So if I'm saying that a Brazilian firm has started an husbandry and more more people seem to want to go there and pick the cows, they're in the neater states, they are bigger, they are fatter, I too, I will go there. Now, if this is established all over Nigeria, it will reduce to a large extent these people that are moving from one place to another claiming they are cattle ranchers.
But herding is a culture.
That's what it. Forget the culture. We are now looking at world best practices, especially when
world best practices.
Nobody moves around, moving from one place to another with animals all over the world.
Even in India,
they are also fighting. Even in their own locality, their people are not comfortable because criminals have now been able to inflate into these people. They claim they are herdsmen, but they are not heads. They are not cattle ranchers. They are actually criminals that are using cattle ranching, going into your farms and using it to attack you. So if we now have this, we are now studying world best practices. Nobody is moving with cows all over the place. For me, it will reduce insecurity in the country to a large extent. And guess what? We would also have needs. The fact that World Health Organization has been saying that we are hungry, and that they are saying that in
Who is hungry?
Nigerians, Africans who are crying that they are hungry. Nigerians are crying they are hungry. Please, let's be honest. And in the
My honesty or your honesty?
Well,
so I think World Health Organization should not be telling me that I'm hungry.
They are telling you that by 2026, 2027, we may suffer children may suffer a lot of malnutrition, especially those that are from the middle class.
Okay.
Now, anything putting money into the economy to actually develop Africa, to make sure that poultry, chickens are in one side, they are growing, you can go there, you can pick, they are healthy. It's going to be for world best practices. I support it. Yes, should government be careful? Should it be monitored? Like he said, employment. A student from the university that has graduated from agriculture would rather work in such a company where you know you are dressed well. That a lot of Nigerians go abroad and they work in factories and poultries because of the way it is. Do you want, how many graduates want to be following cow up and down? Very few. But if there's a good poultry that is of world-class standard, you are imputing with your system when you are done 25 eggs, 30 chickens, and you are like saying, you are with your snap, and you are saying, gay, guess what? I'm imputing 50. A lot of Gen Z agriculture. I'm serious. Because this is what the younger generation want to work with.
Okay.
So if I graduate from agriculture, I'm not looking for a bank job. I know that on my table, when I'm done with my cows, I can be like, guess what, fam? Gram for the gram, I have 50 farms. They say in the book. This would encourage younger people to get employed in this kind of prayer. Is ashamed of me, but it's true.
Okay. Thank you very much, Swift. Remember, it's everybody's responsibility to support a farmer and support a farm. And hey, we shouldn't leave our farming in the hands of somebody coming from outside. That's just the basic truth of it. Now, if they are bringing money to invest, hey, you're welcome. But hey, let's do our due diligence. We've got a very short break. When we return, Souk Business Landscape will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Take Nigeria because it's the mind that needs to first of all be rebranded.
Idris said he's going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigeria content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, you know, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations should start looking at getting their staff involved in this market or buying to keep for their staff?
Within this side, let's also learn citizen diplomacy. See something. This is Souk Business Landscape.
Muhammad Yunus was born on the 28th of June 1940 in the village of Batwa, Chittagong, a British Indian colony which is currently known as Bangladesh. He attended Lama Bazar Primary and Secondary School in his village and passed the matriculation examination into Chittagong Collegiate School, where he ranked 16th out of 39,000 students. After his graduation in 1961, Yunus joined the Bureau of Economics as a research assistant and was later appointed lecturer of economics at the Chittagong College. During that time, he also set up a profitable packaging factory on the side. In 1965, he received a Fulbright scholarship to study in the United States, where he obtained his PhD in economics from the Vanderbilt University Graduate Program in Economic Development. Between 1969 and 1972, after his keen education excellence of apex heights and proportions in the United States, he returned home and was appointed professor of economics at the University of Chittagong. He was eventually appointed onto the board of directors to the United Nations Foundation, where he served for 33 years. When Bangladesh suffered a famine in 1974, Yunus felt he had to do something for the very poor. In his country, he founded the Grameen Bank. His motivation was to create economic and social development for the very poor, giving long-term loans to those who wanted to start small enterprises to pay back when they can. The aim to help was to get many of them out of poverty. For this, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006. Muhammad Yunus is a recipient of numerous international awards for his ideas and endeavors, including the Humanitarian Award in 1993, World Food Prize in 1994, Independence Day Award in 1987, Bangladesh's highest award, the King Hussein Humanitarian Leadership Award in 2000. He was also awarded the Volvo Environment Prize in 2003, Nikkei Asia Prize for Regional Growth in 2004, Franklin D. Roosevelt Freedom Award in 2006, as well as the Seoul Peace Prize in the same year. All humans are born entrepreneurs, he would always fondly say. His heart showed through his everyday life. Known as the father of African literature, Chinua Achebe was born on the 16th of November 1930 in Ogidi, now Anambra State, eastern Nigeria. He was born to Isaiah Okafor Achebe, a teacher and an evangelist, and Janet Anenichi Ilegunam, a vegetable farmer. Achebe has reshaped the global understanding of African identity through the power of storytelling. Raised during the twilight of colonial rule, Achebe's education was steeped in both Igbo tradition and the Western values of post-colonial Christianity. As a student at the University of Ibadan, he became fiercely critical of how Africa was portrayed in Western literature. Achebe believed that Western literature often painted Africa as a dark and primitive continent, but he sought to tell the African people's lens. In 1958, Achebe's groundbreaking novel Things Fall Apart shattered colonial narratives through the tragic story of Okonkwo, an Igbo warrior. Achebe illuminated the complexities of African culture and the devastating effects of European colonization. Things Fall Apart became more than just a novel. It became a symbol of African resistance against the oppressive narratives of colonialism. Achebe was not just a writer, he was a passionate advocate for African self-determination, and his political activism made him a critical voice in the post-colonial era. Even after a life marked by personal and political struggles, including a car accident that left him partially paralyzed, Achebe continued to inspire. He taught at Bard College and later Brown University, where his influence reached new generations of writers and thinkers. He was married to Christiana Chinwe Okoli and they had 4 children. Sadly, he died in March 2013 at the age of 82. Chinua Achebe's legacy endures in his novels, his essays, and in the countless voices of African writers who follow in his footsteps. He gave us a voice, a story, and a vision of Africa that is ours to share.
Take Nigeria because it's the mind that needs to first of all be rebranded.
Idris said he's going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigeria content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations should start looking at getting their staff involved in this market or buying to keep for their staff?
Within this side, let's also learn citizen diplomacy. See something. This is suit business landscape.
Welcome back. This is SBL, and remember, go on social media platforms and follow us. Let's continue this conversation there. It's Souk News TV. Very simple. Let's talk. Now let's get to our second story for today. It's still agriculture. We can't leave there. It's our mainstay. Nigeria spent over $10 billion. Okay. Over $10 billion each year importing food such as wheat, rice, sugar, fish, and even tomato paste. According to the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, speaking at the first Bank Agric and Export Expo 2025 in Lagos, Kyari, represented by his advisor, Ibrahim Alkali, decried the heavy dependence on food imports despite the country's vast potentials. He noted that agriculture contributes 35% to Nigeria's GDP, employs 35% of the workforce, and the country has 85 million hectares of arable land with a youth population of over 70% under 30 years old, yet account for less than 0.5% of global exports. Kelly revealed that Nigeria earns under $400 million from agricultural exports, calling for a radical rethink of financing and infrastructure to drive local production and value addition. He stressed that the present administration's priority, food sovereignty, to reduce dependence on imports and shield Nigerians from global supply shocks. Okay, let's bring this back to this table.
Yes, boss.
We've had this minister for more than a year right now. Good. So right now, he is still giving us that particular statistics of we importing over $10 billion worth of food annually. Is this not a slap on our face, or should we not be ashamed, or just look for one ground to hide our head in shame at this particular point in time?
Okay, so I will say something. I will say that packaging is king. And in Africa, not just Nigeria, in Africa, if you can package properly, you get it. So years ago, I'd watched a documentary about Kenyans drinking cow pee. And it was the way the documentary was.
Drinking what?
Cow, the pee of cow. They drink it in a particular community for health. And the way the documentary was packaged was like, oh, what dirty culture. Right now, a lot of people take supplements that are made of cow pee, because cow pee has been found, you know, it helps with cancer, it helps with this, women that have fibroids.
Can you slow down on that?
I'm telling you, go online. In fact, there was a time when I had...
You can post anything online.
When I had surgery.
You went to drink cow pee?
Part of the pill I was taking. And the supplement food
was made of cow pee.
When I looked at it, it was, and I was like, oh my God.
It was what?
But it was packaged, hold on, it was packaged from over there. Wait.
Okay.
If a Nigerian firm decides now, oh, these waste products are no more waste products because they cure this, they help with this, they help with that, and they now package cow pee, nobody would drink. But when a firm in US who says, oh, it's well tested, freeze it up a little, package it, bring it to Nigeria, will buy. This is where I'm coming from.
No, say you will buy, not we.
I'm telling you. Hold on. I'm with you. I once had to organize a party for one of the hybrid people. Then I was still into events. And the woman she was insisting. Everything at my party must be imported. From baked beans, I don't want the regular spaghetti. I want the one that is imported. I want this imported. At a stage, I was like, Mama, she was ready to spend 50 times the regular price. She said she didn't want normal rice, she wanted brown rice imported. She didn't want this rice, she wanted Chinese rice imported. Where am I coming from?
And the toothpick too.
Everything, she was sure all over it. And we were, in fact, we now started going, what
about the manners? The manners imported.
So let me tell you what I and the chair and the caterer did. We started going to certain places that were, you know, making these imported things that looked almost imported. And the caterer was cutting down cost. And when she told me, I said, don't put me into trouble. You know, I'm the one that linked you with the woman. Back down to the fact when the event started, all of them were bragging, oh, everything was imported. But other people, Europeans, will not brag of having a party that every meal on their table is imported. Like I say, it's packaging. So when you are hearing we are spending so much, in fact, I'm disappointed because that means that it has come down. We used to spend way more. I think it's the dollar pricing.
Okay, Swift.
Yes.
Now I get where you're going to. Priya, this is what I'm looking at. If we have, I'm not trying to fault the minister, but I will want to see where he will say, give a speech. Okay, I came in 2 years ago, and when I came in, you were spending 10 billion importing food. But in the last 6 months or in the last 2 years, we are now spending 9.5 on 9 billion importing
or 7.
Food. Why is it still the same 10 billion? What impact have his ministry and the administration made in cutting down that?
I just wish Abubakar Kyari was here to answer this question. I tell you. And it's a burden. It's a burden. And I think if you look at the minister, it's an outcry from the part of the minister too. He's crying out, he's raising an alarm. Because the implication of this go beyond the agriculture industry. It gets into finance. Do you imagine $10 billion worth of naira?
Of dollars?
Yes, of that. I mean, the kind of naira to source the dollar. Do you have any idea the pressure it has on the naira? It's humongous.
Wow.
And it's something that we should raise his voice for, and he's raising his voice. So, but the minister should not stop there, raising his voice there. Let's come back, because former President Muhammadu Buhari insisted,
of blessed memory.
Yes, insisted that, look, I cannot have us import rice into this country when we have local rice. Yeah, people cried out, oh, there's still sand, there's still stones in the Nigerian-made, the locally made rice. It's not well milled. When the rice is being milled, it's not well milled. Oh, people cried out. It went ahead anyways and shut the borders. Don't bring rice, don't bring this, don't bring that, don't bring this into my country. We are going to eat what we grow, and we're going to grow what we eat. Those smugglings took place. But you know, after a period of time, the foreign rice became scarce. But you know what Nigerians did, Nigerian farmers did? Say, oh, the foreign rice is no longer in view. I know what, this is the time to raise our price. So they raised their price. So what did you just defeat? You just defeated the government's policy.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe this is where I will...
Okay, the price going high, don't you think it's because the...
Market forces.
Yeah,
you and Doc are market forces.
Hold on, now see. What we were producing was not enough for the market.
Yes, but it was being sold at a specific price.
Because
so
it was not enough.
Why are you getting it higher?
No, it was being sold at a specific...
It's demand and supply.
No, Chooks, wait. This demand and supply thing...
It's demand and supply.
It was not carrying AK-47, even though you call them the market forces. They don't have guns. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that's just on the lighter side.
There were more people chasing the...
I know, just... Okay, fine. Before the policy of the president then started taking effect, the local rice was being sold, let's say, about 20,000 naira or so, or 25,000 naira. I'm just using that price as a benchmark. And the foreign rice probably was being sold for 40,000 naira or 45,000 or maybe 50,000 naira. All of a sudden, the foreign imported rice became scarce.
Okay.
And the local producers of the local rice like, this is our chance. Why don't you leave it at 25 that you used to sell it before just a moment?
Okay.
Then you now say, foreign rice is gone. How much is the foreign rice? 40,000. Let's sell ours for 37 or 38,000.
They started to sell for 50. So it was more expensive. So when people even smuggled rice from the border, it was cheaper.
So wait, and Chooks, you want me to hold on now because of demand and supply forces?
Let's look at the market and deal with what happens in the market.
Yes.
Now let's say we took out 500,000 bags of foreign rice. What was being
I think smuggled, we even did more than that.
I'm just giving an example. Yeah. What was smuggled was let's say 150. Which means we had a deficit of 350,000 bags that people needed to feed on. Now you take that out, and you're bringing local rice. You're bringing 150 bags. We still have 250,000 bags.
Yes.
So we had more people looking for that particular remaining.
So you raising the price, they did not get to everybody. You get to
it's not the farmers that were raising the price, because the farmers were being bought off from middlemen.
Yes, okay.
When it gets to the market, the market forces will directly affect.
Yes, understood.
If we produce more than enough and flood the market, the prices will crash.
Before that time, the Mohamed Buhari government, they made a conscious effort to ensure there was supplements for fertilizer, rice planting and all that, so that there would be enough rice. They had estimated there was supposed to be enough rice. We had a rice pyramid. There was
hold on, please. Now let's talk as journalists. We know very well that rice pyramid was a fraud. It was a construction that they put sacks on top. So let's don't go there.
No, the pyramid was
Which pyramid?
like that. there was enough rice in the country. No, I'm not going to take my pyramid. We have a pyramid, like a rice pyramid.
Okay. We had Egyptian pyramid.
We have rice pyramid in
We used to have
Nigeria.
granite pyramid.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so Chooks, we must, when we see government take certain actions to better the lot of Nigerians, we shouldn't go through the back door to make things difficult for ourselves. Understood.
I agree.
Right, understood. Market forces came into being.
The next question we'll start asking ourselves is, where is the Consumer Protection Council?
Great.
What exactly are they doing?
Can I say something?
Please.
This are the boys say it. On a lifestyle. So you see, there's a particular lifestyle you have. When people come to your house, they want to see foreign stuff. They want to see foreign drinks. They want to see the wines. They want to see the food. They want you to say, oh, you know, this basmati, this kind of rice.
And they won't pay the tariff on it.
On a lifestyle. It doesn't matter. Do you understand?
Now, if you happen to be the president today,
yes.
what tariff will you put on those?
So you see, like when the Minister of Agriculture was talking, I told you about the cow dump. I intentionally talked about that. Do you know how much Nigerians will make if you are just exporting cow dump? There was an agricultural training I went for.
We don't even have enough cow dung. Why should we be exporting it?
Do you know how many people are exporting it without the government knowing?
But
That's
I don't
what
even
we're trying to say.
We don't have enough.
Somebody now, because your cows are moving all over the place, if they are in one place, husbandry, you can pack. The pig. That's what they do in developed countries. Let's move forward.
We are developed.
So yes, we are a developing nation. And so somebody was talking about the importance of bed feathers. That pillows that are made from bed feathers are way more expensive than pillows that are made normally because they are softer, they are more medically, inclined. They help with your neck, your back when you sleep on them.
They are more expensive together.
Yes, and they are more expensive.
Now,
in Nigeria, we see a lot of people remove chicken feather and they throw it in the gutter.
Because they don't know the value of what they are disposing.
That is what we are saying, because we are not practicing world-best agricultural practices.
Hold on. What is world-best agricultural
this is what's
practices?
best now.
Who said
Standard.
Who's standard?
This is where I'm coming from. If we can improve, like you said, the minister, what are we doing? So if you know that those women in the market that peel chicken, if they know that there's a ministry coming to buy these feathers for them, instead of throwing it into the gutters to become a mess, do you know that will reduce waste in Lagos alone? We're not talking about other nations, and it will be of use. For example, Momo, there's nothing in a cow that is wasted, goats, the horns. But every time there's salad, I see people throwing their horns away. If it was in more developed...
The horn of the cow, not the horn of the
cow away. If it was in more developed countries, what those things are used for? They're used to make plates in China, cups. How many people want to go to an event and you are giving them cow horn to drink? They will not agree. But in America, in Texas, people would rather drink from the cow horn, from the bull's horn, because it's a culture, it's a PR thing. I think with agriculture in this country, we need to start to do a personal branding. Let us love what we make. Let us love what we eat. Let us love what we produce. And then the sourcing for foreign foods will reduce.
Okay, so Chooks, two things. What she said about the feather of the chickens and its information. Just the way the farmer is already plantation, cassava, and all of that. And a big company somewhere told the farmer, into agreement and contract with the farmer, this harvest, they bought the whole farmer's harvest for that season. That's how it is. So if chicken, let's just say Chooks' farm is producing chicken, and you know very well that it's going to, maybe there is a slaughter slab for chicken, just slaughter chicken, okay. Slaughter slab for chicken, and you are telling all the people there who are doing this work, look, the feathers, the priority, if you waste them, deduction from your salary, keep them here, recycle them here, because you know that there is a company somewhere who are making mattresses and making pillowcases and making other bedroom items. They are coming for it. The slaughter slab for cows and goats. Please, the arms, the bones, keep them here. So, because in that case, you are providing and making raw materials available for industrial use.
Wow.
So all these places where we have all these activities, economic activities going on, if they are aware and they are informed and there is a market, because if there is no market, most likely you will not get that information. But if there is a market, they can be educated and taught to preserve it properly. Now, these days, you see people drink minerals and bottled water. And most people, they have empty containers in front of their houses because people will just drop it there because they sell it. There are other people or it's a company somewhere is telling them we are going to buy it for industrial purpose. Now, the other thing is this. Importing agricultural produce into this country, this is the minister. Walk up to the Minister of Trade and Investment and walk up to any other the ministry of another relevant minister of a specific agency through which you can have many a synergy with the Ministry of Agriculture. Go and get the ear. Go and speak to Mr. President to get the ears of Mr. President and say, sir, we need to put tariff on agricultural produce import into our country. Local industries are dying. We need to put that. And Mr. President, you need to put your eyes at the back when you're doing this, because you are protecting Nigerians and you're putting. And Mr. President, if you're going to just like the way you came on and say, or probably in the day of your inauguration, and you came and say, subsidy is gone. Please sit down in front of Nigerians sometimes and tell them, look, the government does carry out some policies to enhance the living standard of Nigerians and for the economic well-being. But we know you are business people, but you are not putting the well-being of the Nigerian citizens, your own self, as priority. You take actions that completely nullify and make nonsense of the government policy. If we are going to put tariff on imported rice, put tariff on imported things into this country, consumables, please, we know you have a local substitute. That is the reason why we are putting tariff on these things, so that the local substitute can find their way and percolate through into the herb of society for sales, for businesses to grow, and all of that. It's not that when we start tariffing imported products into this country, you will now raise your price ×3. You have defeated the purpose of the government. In that case, you're not helping yourself. Consumer Protection Council, go to work. If they are not going to work, get the head fired. Bring in another head. That one will be correct.
Okay. That's 20 people fired at the same time.
Okay.
While
the 20 is being fired and the deduction is being made, let's get straight to our second story. Now, there's a high demand for grade A warehouses. Warehouses in Lagos, and this has surged, particularly in industrial clusters like Lagos Free Trade Zone, where infrastructure spending by public and private stakeholders is driving uptake. According to Knight Frank's 2024-2025 market report, leasing rate for top-tier warehouses has climbed by $6 per square meter monthly, nearly 10% higher from 2020, as supply struggles to keep pace with demand. This rise is fueled by international trade growth, the boom in e-commerce, and population-driven consumption needs. Also, in sectors such as food, healthcare, and automotive, in Lagos, rents are for standard warehouse average 10 million naira yearly for 8,000 square meters, while nationwide rents range between 1.7 million and 20 million, with sale prices in strategic zones going for 100 million to 450 million naira. Despite the surge in warehouse demand, Nigeria's manufacturing sector continues to struggle. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria reported 1.24 trillion worth of unsold goods in H1. Okay, now let's talk about this in a jiffy. Is this still one of the runoff of our issues on import? Because a lot of the local made goods are lying somewhere not being sold, but we are looking for spaces to house imported goods. And because we are looking for these particular spaces, the spaces are not much, the price of these spaces. Warehouses are going up and up.
you know, they said warehouses are going up in Lagos.
Yes, in Lagos.
Not everywhere.
Majorly Lagos.
The first thing is, we must agree that everything in Lagos is going up. Even rents are going, this trickling is becoming ridiculous. When demand, like you say, your demand and supply, when demand is much, supply will be much. We're also talking about the fact that a lot of foreign companies are coming into Nigeria, especially Lagos, to do business. There was something the article talked. It talked about the free trade zone. That was where they saw that the demand for warehouses was ridiculously high. Why? You have Dangote Cement there. You have a couple of some of the big stakeholders. They are all having. It's only normal that people would want to bring in stuff. Of course, the Lekki Sea port thing and all that. So the warehouses. The demand for warehouses, I mean, I don't see it going higher, unfortunately. I see a lot of Nigerian businesses, especially our local manufacturing, get into a lot of trouble because their foreign counterparts are coming with hard-earned dollars to pay for this. And they are going to be paying 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. That's what they do. And so you are struggling to make up 1 year rent from what you sell and what you profit, it will be harder for you, unfortunately. It happened with the Lupeju industrial layout when it was given. Got to a stage that it was literally Indians that had bought up almost the whole of Ilupeju. They were working there, they had their factories there. It was when they started closing down that some Nigerian factories were able to go. And that helped with the building of Ibadan because a lot of local manufacturing now moved to Ibadan. So what I would advise our local manufacturers is maybe they should move a little further, this reality.
To Arepo.
Yes. And it will open up that side. It won't be as easy. It won't be as easy. You understand? If I move to Ijebu Papa, by the time this area is
as we
full,
speak right now,
yes.
we don't have a train station that will move finished products to the port and around the market. So these are indices that really affect why we have too much clusters in Lagos.
Yes.
You talked about Arepo. It's a no-go area. The spillover of industrial development in Lagos has already 10 years ago had made Arepo a no-go area. Go and look for a room self-corner at Arepo if you not pay up to ₦1 million.
Wow.
Arepo is gone. You should be telling them to go in Mowe Bafo. Because and it's good. That's why Ogun State stands to benefit from Lagos' development. Because
quick one as we're running up. Is this warehouse issue a good spillover? Is it a good problem to have?
Okay, fine. One thing I would say, it is not quite a good problem to have, but it is good in the other hand. They are looking for grade A warehouse. Who are the people looking for grade A warehouse? I think both local produce manufacturers and importers should look for a good warehouse that will suffice to keep their goods safely, and the environment will not have will not harm the goods in a way that will become detrimental for people to consume. So, like he rightly said, those who are importing goods, under by cargo, by ship, they are the ones taking up the rule of those places. They have taken everything. You just mentioned the price. Lupeju is talking about those Indians, they don't price. How much? Immediately before you finish it, they have paid. Because their organizations are paying for it.
Yes.
They are not paying from their pocket. Their organizations are paying for it. In fact, we've seen Indians become Nigerians anyways. So you see that part of town is almost gone, but it's still functioning. So when they are looking for these houses, when the local manufacturer now comes, okay, he's done manufacturing and he wants to warehouse, and you tell him the price, oh, really? I don't even see when you go to the market, something you bought 2 days ago for 750 naira. When by the time you go, you're hearing 950, 1,000 naira. 2 days, 3 days, they say, why is it? You're telling you, that when they go to buy, that's what they got. There's a market where it's Idumota also that is close by. There are certain days you go there and the trucks coming with finished products. So these manufacturers and these factories, they've made calculation in the sense that, look, we have the quantity, we know how much or the quantity that our warehouse can take. But obviously, our production is going to be like ×5 of what our warehouse will take. So they are very, very strategic. When they are done, they've received all the supply notice from their customers, and from the warehouse, from their production factory, they are moving straight to the markets. You that want to sell, you have where to warehouse them. Yeah. So from there, they move. So in that way, they beat down on the quantity of goods that they need to warehouse and the one that they need to take straight to the customers. So I think they've been using that system to bypass, because if not, we need it. And please, closest to our Papa too. They have very, very free facilities. When I'm talking about Ijora, when you get to Ijora before you climb the bridge to get to Ajegunle and Apapa, there are some free spans of places there. Some of them are used for housing tractors and big vehicles. There are containers too, warehoused and kept there. Part of it can be provided for that purpose. And I tell you, there's the market for it.
Okay, we take a look at China. We have some specific organizations that their business is just warehousing. So it doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to anybody. You just come, drop your goods. After a while, you just come pick it up. And they make sure the security, logistics, movement, and all that. Should we start looking at those kind of businesses springing up in Nigeria right now?
In fact, that was what I was coming to. I was going to talk about public and private partnerships and with governments. The government needs to pay attention to the fact that, look, the economy is increasing. There are certain facilities that need to be put in place. I don't mind if the government starts one, then encourages private people to start. Because look, the government is going to bring major funds. It's only government that an Oba or a king or a governor of Lagos will give a large expense of land. The federal government say we want to start a warehouse facility in every state in Nigeria. It is only then that you see Lagos state government to remember that there's one land and they will be giving 500 acres. If you a private individual goes there,
Lagos state doesn't have 500.
They do. You'll be shocked. I'm telling you. So so we are looking at if the government can come in, then we now see private participation. I think it will be very good. Then also people need to learn to merge. Sometimes you have a warehouse. Please merge with your neighbor. It happened with banking. It happened with churches. Yes, churches merge too. And so if we see a merger, I think things would actually work better. Recently, like he was talking about Idumota, I had to go buy this, what do you call them, that you wear when you're on the booth, life jackets for a company. They wanted to give up about 1,000 plus. So I was the middleman sourcing. And when I went to Idumota, the thing was supposed to take place on Friday. I told the men that it was taking place on a Wednesday. So they wanted to see cash and all that. By the time money came in, I now found out that their warehouse was at whether Ogun State or somewhere far. Because they said there's no space in Lagos. It was at that point they were bringing it. Then the road was now bad. So another challenge the manufacturers need to, I think they should not fight the system of expense. They should leave Lagos. They should just appeal to the Minister of Works. Let them fix this road, because it took a whole day for these consignments to come into Lagos, to hit me and to do what I had to come back the next day to come and get it. And that was when I found out there's a rule that you can't sleep in the market anymore. Because I was like, I will stay with you in the market. If it's coming 1 a.m., let it come. Let me pick up my goods. Let me go and supply where I want to supply. And they were like, madam, there's a rule now in the market. Nobody sleeps and all that. So if the government can fix roads, that 1 day delay, this is supposed to be less than a 3-hour journey. Imagine if those roads were good. I was there by 7. By 10, the goods will come in. So government should think, manufacturers should appeal to government. Let's fix roads. We don't need to appeal. Government should work on this. Let's fix roads, the private partnership thing, so that it can make life a little less difficult for the manufacturers, because they're going through a lot and they're really trying.
Okay, your last sentence on this.
Okay, my last sentence on this.
On the story.
On the story is that, okay, first of all, please, if you want to get a warehouse on an open space, Lagos, you pay through your nose to get it in Lagos. You will pay. And that in turn, you want to make sure that Chooks or Swift bear the brunt of the price. As long as it is Chooks and Swift, fine, not me. So, and that's good. And when it's expensive, remember, if there is a substitute for your product, the people will move and you will lose the market. Like you said, go out, because that's how most businesses diversify. And before you know, they start owning buildings and they're going into real estate.
Yes.
In places where they can get those houses and those lands for cheaper prices.
Okay, thank you very much. For everyone out there, remember, support a business today. Those ideas that you've been holding tight, open up. If you can't pursue them by yourself, look for who and parties that can come join you and get those ideas to light. Remember, this is Nigeria and we have to move and keep working. Thank you for being part of SBL today. It's my single honor to say thank you once again. My name is Chooks, John Rogers Chooks. We'll do this again tomorrow. Remember, be nice. Priye?
Yes, I am Oyin Priye Kurumale. Many thanks for watching and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All right, they tell you that life, you can accomplish anything if you put your mind into it and you take a step at a time. Like I tell you, have a beautiful day and take those steps at a time. My name is Swift Aderito. Do not forget, you are the best of the best the world has to offer. Bye-bye.
Take Nigeria because it's the mind that needs to first of all be rebranded.
He said he's going to be putting Nigerian labor, Nigeria content and materials first.
If you say Nigeria first and it is just us down here that, are pushing that agenda, it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think Nigerian firms, Nigerian organizations should start looking at getting their staff involved in this market or buying to keep for their staff?
Within this side, let's also learn citizen diplomacy. See something. This is suit business landscape.